Alrighty. Welcome everyone to our inaugural Let's Talk Drone series hosted by your AUVSI North Carolina chapter. I'm Bill Lewis. I'm the communications coordinator for the AUVSI North Carolina. I'm also the UAS program coordinator for Pitt Community College, and I will be moderating your event today. So before we get started, I would like to also encourage you to join AUVSI and specifically the North Carolina chapter. The North Carolina chapter was established last year and our membership has grown steadily. And we hope that if you haven't already joined, that you do so. You may do so by visiting auvsi.org and select join or sign up to become a member. In the future, we will be having member-only events that will require your membership, but we will also be continuing our free educational discussion series. So please consider that before you leave today. Our panelists today will attempt to answer some of your questions and invoke insights into topics while I attempt to maintain control over the discussion during the session. In order to do that, we ask that you follow our set of protocols, and I will have that up. If you look in the guideline screen, you may have to expand that to look, but basically we're going to ask everyone to stay muted as our panelists speak. And then if you seek recognition, you may do so in one of two ways. First, if you'll send a question, if you have a question, you could send that question to Nicole Ramsey. If you send that, we will be doing our best to try to get that question in and answered. And if you'd like to make a comment about what's being discussed, please raise your hand. And that's a little tool in the chat session that we can look for, and we'll give you the floor in order to speak. I will be likely changing from chat questions to floor questions throughout the session. So please, bear with us. This is our first time running through. We've got more people coming online, so they might not follow the guidelines as well as you all who started early. So we'll begin. I'd like to hand this over to Darshan, who is our president, and Riley, who is our vice president of AUVSI North Carolina. Darshan, you have the floor.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the first session. It's great to see so many familiar names and faces. This is an informal session. That's what I'll keep this as. The main focus here is to talk, to discuss, to understand better what is going on in the drone industry. As many of you all must have read in the social media that we are going to be doing this last Friday of every month. The main thing is, the industry is moving fast and a lot of new advances in technology, software, and new rules and regulations being updated. A lot of things happening, but there's not enough time for people to address these changes or answer these questions. So what we are trying here is to answer these questions, start discussions, take your feedback, your questions. If we don't have answers to it, we will try and reach out to to FAA, NASA, to other organizations and try and get more information about it. So an example would be okay, how did so-and-so agency get a Part 135? What is the process for 135? That's a question which we cannot spend a lot of time on, but maybe that question will be better addressed by the right person. But as much as possible, we'll try to keep this discussions active, and everyone's opinions, suggestions, comments are all respected here. If you don't know something, that's fine. We all there are a lot of things that we all don't know about. So the main thing here is to have a friendly chat, have these discussions, and find out more about the industry, the opportunities ahead. Riley, anything else to fill on this?
No. Again, welcome everyone. We've got 23 participants right now on this great and beautiful dreary Friday. So we really appreciate you guys taking the time to log on. Again, my name is Riley Beaman. For those of you who do not know me, I am the Vice President and currently the Director of the North Carolina Public Safety Drone Academy. Much like Bill at Pitt, we travel around the state providing free education, unmanned aviation education for public safety, emergency services, with large scenario drills and things like that. So that's kind of what we do around the state. Again, like Darshan said, getting back to this, we want this to be laid back, very general. We want everybody to have a good time. We've got a lot of great people here, including you, and everybody brings their own expertise to this. We're not any of us masters at UAS right now. We're all learning. We continue to learn. It seems to be an ongoing process. We're going to have a lot of great things that we're going to discuss, as Darshan said. One thing we do want you guys to remember and to know that June the 17th will be our next episode of our Unmanned Systems episode 2. Again, will be June the 17th. We'll have different things, as Darshan said, that we're going to be focusing on. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it back over to Darshan so we can get some announcements out of the way and get started.
Thanks, Riley. So a little bit quick background of me. I'm the president of AUVSI. Presently, I'm the president of AUVSI Solutions. We help state and local governments with unmanned system integration. My earlier role, I was the co-lead for the North Carolina DOT drone program. So I met many of you all in that way. Right now, I'm continuing to help NCDOT and other agencies in North Carolina. So AUVSI plays a key role in bridging this gap between these organizations. And when AUVSI was created last year, the main focus was to bring like-minded people, the people who are going to drive this initiative within the state. As it says, AUVSI North Carolina is North Carolina focused, but North Carolina has a reputation for being a global leader in unmanned education and outreach. And that is why we are not limited to just North Carolina. We are reaching out to everyone. We want to make sure education and outreach, education is spread widely, and it is the right information is passed on. So with that, the team has grown. You already met Bill and Riley. I would like the rest of the team to introduce themselves quickly. They are going to be our panel also. So with that, I'll first mention, let's start out with Paul. Go ahead and introduce yourself. You're unmute, Paul.
Gotcha. I got that pop-up that came up pretty quick. So thank you to Zoom for recognizing I was on mute. Thank you for everybody for tuning in and participating in this virtual event. I think this is the start of a great chapter, and eventually we're going to be all able to meet in person. But this is a phenomenal start. So I'm Paul Rossi. I am the Community Outreach Coordinator for the AUVSI chapter. Being able to connect and reach out, and as mentioned, once we're able to get out and connect more in person, being able to put together different events throughout and across the state, being that we're the North Carolina chapter, is going to be phenomenal. I also own and operate 910 drones based in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We're helping individuals, businesses, and organizations leverage the advanced capabilities of UAS, working with schools, helping them integrate drones into education. We're doing surveying support work, helping public safety agencies build out programs, just kind of helping anyone locally in this community below Raleigh in the southern part of the state. And just, again, thanks everyone for joining in and tuning in, and looking forward to helping you guys get the information that you might need.
Thanks, Paul. Next, I'll call upon Ashley. Today's the first day with the team. So Ashley, floor is yours. You're muted, Ashley.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Perfect, okay. Newbie here to Zoom and to AUVSI leadership, so I apologize in advance, but I am the advocacy coordinator for this chapter of AUVSI. Very excited to get involved. My day-to-day job is that of an attorney with Michael Best and Friedrich. And as an attorney, I focus on a variety of things, mostly labor and employment business issues, but I have a small niche focus on drone law and the drone industry. And so about 4 years ago, I started a meetup group in the Raleigh area where a bunch of drone and UAV key players and government officials like Darshan got involved and helped just create an atmosphere of education and awareness about the drone industry and what drones are capable of doing. And so I'm very excited to take that meetup platform at a next level with AUVSI in this chapter, and hopefully help coordinate some great education programs on the legal and regulatory side of things. So thank you for having me on this panel, and I appreciate getting involved.
Thanks, Ashley. And so Nicole, go ahead, please introduce yourself.
Hey, Nicole Ramsey. With AUVSI, I do the public safety research. I have a background in fire and EMS. I've been doing that for a couple of years now, and with AUVSI, I'm interning with Darshan here and doing what's needed to get the programs going on those. And yeah, I just try and do the background stuff and reach out to public safety guys or departments in North Carolina.
Thanks, Nicole. And so soon Nicole will fill a more full-time role as it moves ahead. There are a few other people who are not here on today's call or will be calling in late. One is Justine Hollinghead, and she is the Education Outreach Coordinator for AUVSI, and also she works for NC State University. And we have Thomas Edwards, who is our treasurer and he works for Crown Consulting. And we have Amanda Connor, who is our secretary, and she works for NCDOT. So they are not here today. They'll be joining the call hopefully later on. But the main thing, as I mentioned, is that we are a team here, and the team, as you see, is the folks you have either met them sometime in the past in some conferences or have worked with them. So the team is growing. I'll give more information later on about the membership and stuff to join, be part of the committee. I'll talk about today's agenda quickly. So as Riley mentioned about the June 17th event, I'll be mentioning about that. We'll be following it up with a strategic partnership with the group that we'll be mentioning, and then we'll be getting into the news today. It's a 30-minute segment where we're going to highlight some of the key news that's happening in the industry, and we'll have a discussion on it. And as the guidelines say, if you have any comment, suggestion, use the appropriate tool, either send a message or raise your hand. We want to listen to your opinion, a suggestion. Maybe you're aware of something that we are not, but this information will be good to everyone else. After the 30-minute segment of current news, we get into a general discussion and answer your questions. You could be any questions like, how do I get a North Carolina permit, or how do I get a Part 107? It can be any questions that you have. There is no fixed focus, but we'll have that. And the session ends at 5:30. Those who have to leave early understand, but 5:30 will be ending. Around 5:50, we'll wrap it up with the initiatives that we are driving, some new initiatives that we are coming forward with. We are looking for more people to join our committee, so those roles will be informed. So that's our main focus for today. So June 17th, we are excited to, so those who were there the last session, that was the educational series in unmanned systems that we organized last month with Market Scale. Those who attended, thank you for registering and being part of it. We are going to be going to the episode 2 of that, which is titled Preparing the Future Workforce for the Unmanned Systems Industry. This is a key topic, especially for those who want to work in the unmanned systems industry, or those who want to build their education, qualification, certification towards it. So the question is, it's not just for people who are Part 107, it's even to schools, community colleges, universities, what sort of syllabus they need to have, what is the type of degree they have to offer, and what is the industry out there. It's not all drone pilots that we have understood. There are engineers, lawyers, there is technicians, there's a lot of jobs, but they are very streamlined to certain qualifications, and we are going to be discussing those. We're going to have an excellent panel for that. I'm not sure if 2 of the panelists are going to be calling in today, but as we, the main focus also would be is when we open up the discussions, if you have questions towards that topic, do send it to us. You can email it to nc@auvsi.gmail. We will ask these questions to the panelists. I will repeat this later on again, so those who call in late will get information. But just note your calendar, June 17th. It's at 2 p.m., 2 to 3 p.m., 60-minute session. We'll be sending a calendar, event registration page, everything this weekend or early next week. The second thing is the event today be a year and the strategic partnership. So the strategic partnership that I'm mentioning about is Drone Life. Those who are following Drone Life news and know Harry McNabb and Miriam McNabb, they are our new partners to drive this initiative. So this initiative, Let's Talk Drones, is not restricted to just this chat line and what we are talking today. We are going to go beyond this. We are going to be talking about, we are going to be summarizing these chats and putting it out to the public to read about how this conversation is going. I will let Miriam introduce herself and what ideas she have. It's still a work in progress, but Miriam, if you can unmute yourself and just introduce yourself and this initiative.